All right, let's dive right into this. So, device code phishing, what is that? Device code phishing is an adversary tactic that's been around for a pretty long time. And helpfully, Microsoft has enabled device code authentication by default. If anyone's ever logged into Netflix with their phone and used one of those 6-digit codes, that is the device code OAuth flow. And in your Microsoft 365 Entra tenant, by default, that is enabled for printers, for things. For a lot of tenants, it does not need to be enabled, but it is. You get a legitimate Microsoft login prompt, and this is where I think we see some of the efficacy involved. A legitimate user is going to see a Microsoft login page from Microsoft, from the actual on Microsoft domain, and they are going to log into that. And it completely bypasses MFA. So all the pass keys that you've spent months getting set up for your clients, they are rendered ineffective against device code phishing. So, what have we seen here at Huntress? And this is something that I think makes Huntress pretty special. We own our complete product stack. We have a 24/7 AI-assisted SOC. And when we see new patterns of activity and new tradecraft, we can react to it in real time and take action. And so what you're seeing in this chart here is the amount of device code phishing attacks that Huntress has seen by day. It starts February 19th, that is day 0 for Huntress when we're seeing this activity. And it continues through March. You can see here we are March 24th. We saw 4 of these attacks today. We successfully reported on it and we remediated the activity. But what you can see is in early March, starting on really March 3rd, Tuesday, March 3rd, an explosion of these reports coming from our SOC. In fact, the SOC actually have reached out and said, what's happening here with all of these device code attacks? This is something we see maybe 1 or 2 of a day. And now we have 24 on March 3rd across the 100,000 Microsoft tenants that we protect. What's special about Railway? So Railway is a platform-as-a-service tool, Railway.com. I personally did not know what it was until we started seeing these attacks. But what's really interesting here from the detection aspect of things is we saw almost all of this activity from the same sets of IPs, 7 specific IP ranges, all reporting back to Railway.com, were utilized for these device code phishing attacks. And that's not something we see with many attacks. We'll see infrastructure flip, DigitalOcean, M247 Ltd UK, all of some of the hosting providers that are out there that are free or used to be abused. We'll typically see these things flip around. And so that's when we kind of knew that something different was going on here. Maybe this was something novel and unique and new. And again, this is where we very well could have just sat here and said, okay, well, we're just going to report on all these after the compromise and we'll remediate them as we see them. But what if we dug in a little bit further and tried to identify what was happening here? So in partnership with our friends at Flare, who's an awesome partner of ours, we started to look into what we were seeing. Our SOC and our threat research teams started looking into what were these actual phishing emails entailing? What were the domains being used? And we will typically see the same email. Bob shared a OneDrive document with you. We will see that across thousands, tens of thousands of identities as these campaigns go out, and then it peters out after a day or 2. In this case, we saw every phishing lure you could imagine, including abuse of Microsoft Forms, legitimate Microsoft Forms, as redirectors. We saw fake document hosting sites. We saw file shares. All of this was meant to avoid email filtering and email security products that try to block this. And that's when we knew that something definitely very unique was happening here. So in partnership with Flare, we started looking at some of the activity that we were seeing from Railway. And if you remember when we first saw activity for Huntress, February 19th, our friends at Flare found a new Telegram channel called EvilTokens that was created on February 16th, 2026. What is EvilTokens? EvilTokens is a complete phishing-as-a-service platform. If I could open my throwaway phone here, you can see I have a Telegram channel open right here, and I can buy compromised credentials with just the click of a couple buttons here. Now, this costs $1,500, so I'll have to ask my CEO for some money on that one. But you can see how easy it is and how self-sufficient these are products. We're talking about products for hacking people. It's crazy. And here is the EvilTokens dashboard. Now, this is where we're seeing this Railway activity come from. And the EvilTokens developers have hosted their entire infrastructure on Railway. And you see here a very nice partner portal. You probably can see 8 to 10, a dozen examples here at RSA of similar looking portals. This is an adversary phishing-as-a-service portal. You can see here the specific, these are coming from Telegram channels, but you can see here the device code links are being shared. You can create your, you can emulate the organizational branding of the company that you are trying to phish here within the portal. And you can also see it's highlighted deploy to CF, deploy to Cloudflare. And so what we saw happening here was a tool with a lot of different features and functionality. What we were actually seeing was these open redirects. So there are a lot of legitimate websites out there that are vulnerable to redirection attacks. And the EvilTokens platform very helpfully gives you a list of open redirects for you to attack and utilize in your phishing campaigns. This is how you're going to bypass your email filtering, your email security solution. And it's helpfully right in this dashboard for you. You can see, per this screenshot, 1,348 vulnerable domains. If you're trying to filter based on a particular domain or link, there's 1,348 other options available for users of the EvilTokens platform. Here we have product updates coming from the EvilTokens crew. So March 23rd, yesterday, they introduced some AI functionality with some keyword search tools. So this is something we've been very worried about as defenders, the ability for a threat actor to very quickly identify using AI, sensitive data, sensitive documents within your environment. EvilTokens very helpfully integrated it into their platform. And the covered screenshots here are actual search results of people's bank account numbers, invoices for companies. All of this is automated within the EvilTokens platform. How many of your security tools have 24/7 support, customer support? Because EvilTokens has 24/7 customer support. Think about that for a second. We have user feedback here coming from the community. I'm seeing good results myself and hopeful for the best moving forward. This is a threat actor saying how awesome the EvilTokens platform is. My circle alone within your community is close to 20 people. It's 20 people out there trying to steal credentials, phish, steal money, conduct wire fraud, and EvilTokens is talking up all the great feedback that they're getting. So we going back and forth with this, and again, we're not just here to be that post-compromise remediation tool after you've lost tens of thousands of dollars. Hey, we cleaned it up for you. Congratulations, we win. No, here at Huntress, we're always looking for new ways to stop adversaries. That is our mandate. And by controlling the entire stack and having the threat researchers in our SOC, we can actually do something to make a difference here. And so what we did was to push out a Microsoft conditional access policy to over 60,000 Huntress protected tenants. This is not something we've ever done before. This took a lot of careful research, a lot of time and effort on the part of our research and development team and our adversary tactics team to ensure, for anyone that knows conditional access, It's the best way in the world to lock yourself out of your own Microsoft tenant. And here we are, Huntress, saying, we're going to push out a policy to every tenant that we manage. And so it better be right. And so what we were able to do, you can see, we created a name location for the 7 IP ranges that were associated with this attack, and very narrowly scoped a conditional access policy to push out to every tenant that we could, roughly 60,000 out of 100,000 that we protect here at Huntress, to get ahead of this. Because I was really honestly tired of seeing people getting phished or seeing a phishing email and saying, I keep getting hacked, but should I open this? And the threat actor responding, yes, please open, it's urgent. That kind of wears on us as defenders, and if there's something we can do about it, we want to. And so, by the numbers. So as of this morning, we had seen 362 total compromises. Not every tenant we protect has conditional access. We protect tenants at every level, free, P1, P2. And so we continue to see compromises occur from this campaign. But since March 19th, with this conditional access policy in place, we've actually been able to completely prevent 246 additional compromises. The feedback here has been good and bad. We have a lot of customers who were not happy that we pushed out a conditional access policy to their tenants. And I think we are starting to see this bear out. It's much better to have a conditional access policy in place, pushed by your cybersecurity expert, Huntress, than to have a compromise and have one of your end clients or have your own tenant the subject of a business email compromise or wire fraud. And so we'll continue to see this. We are going to iterate on this and build this out into new functionality. But using some of our own threat intelligence and some of the intelligence from our friends at Flare, we were able to kind of really deconstruct this new campaign, this new toolkit, and we're actually able to stop this from happening in a lot of cases.